time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Sportsnet LA presents the Dodgers as they take on the New York Mets. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Monday evening to you. The Dodgers off the road, home for a good long homestand, and open up against the New York Mets for 4. Last year, the Mets beat the Dodgers 4 of 7 during the regular year and nailed them in the division series 3-2. For the Dodgers, they have kind of shaky record. They're bad at home. They're 5-8. On the road, that's another story. They're 11-7. The Mets are far more balanced. They're 9-6 at home and 10-5 on the road. The Mets come here a half a game in front of Washington, and they've won 2 straight. The Dodgers come home tied with San Francisco, and they have a 2-game winning streak. On the mound for these two, first of all, Steven Matz, young kid from Long Island, rabid Mets fan, winds up being one of their better pitchers, and he comes in here very sharp with his game. He's won 4 straight, and over that stretch, his earned run average is 0.67. He is also 1-0 against the Dodgers last year. He lost to Kershaw in the division series 3-1. On the mound for the Dodgers, left-hander Scott Kazmir. He is 2-2. What makes it very interesting, Kazmir back in 2002 was the #1 first-round draft pick by the New York Mets. So, game 1 of the 4-game series just around the corner. So stay tuned. We'll be back with a ball game and a whole lot more right after this. Pleasant Monday evening to you, wherever you may be. A lovely evening here at Dodger Stadium. The New York Mets arriving to open up a 4-game series with the Dodgers. Last year, the Dodgers dropped the regular season series for the first time since 2011, and during that time, that stellar New York Mets pitching staff held the Dodgers to an overall team batting average of only .210. So they'll be seeing that staff without Harvey, who pitched in San Diego. The rest of the club will be seen tonight with that great staff. We can take a look now at Terry Collins' lineup. Curtis Granderson leads off in right field. Asdrubal Cabrera at short. And David Wright, an old pal, a third baseman who just wears the Dodgers out, hitting third. Yoenis Cespedes will be in left field. Lucas Duda at first base. Juan Lagares will be in center field. Wilmer Flores at second base. Kevin Plawecki will be behind the plate. And the kid from Long Island, the left-hander Steven Matz. Talking about left-handers, the Dodgers counter with Scott Kazmir with a record of 2-2. Once upon a time, the first-round pick by the New York Mets. So Kazmir going up against the leadoff man, and that would be Curtis Granderson. Granderson checking in, ready to go, and the Dodgers load up the right side of the infield. Granderson, way back a few years ago, as he first ball swings, a towering fly ball to right field, and that one is going to go into the pavilion for a home run. First pitch of the game, and Granderson hits it out. By the way, that is the 32nd home run that the Mets have hit on the road. 31 of 47. It was a fastball, and it was right down the middle. And Granderson jumped on it, and away he goes. Granderson, back in 2011, was the first center fielder since Dale Murphy to have a season with 115 RBIs and 130 runs scored. The last American leaguer to do that was Mickey Mantle. So a home run on the very first pitch, and just like that, the Mets lead 1-0. Asdrubal Cabrera, .306 batting average, holding up very well and hitting .321 this month. Right-hand hitter, lays off a changeup, and the count 2-balls and no strikes. Interesting, Kazmir gives up the home run in the first pitch. Steven Matz, with the leadoff man on his debut, hit a home run. Fly ball to left. A little bit of a late start because of the light sky by Hernandez, but he puts it away easily, and we have one away. Here are the Dodgers defensively: Gonzalez and Kendrick, Culberson and Turner, and the outfield: Hernandez, Thompson, and Puig. A.J. Ellis handling Kazmir. Kazmir, from 1 to 15 pitches, the opposition is hitting .500 against him, and tonight the very first pitch hit for a home run. Then he really pitches so much better, and he'll have to when he faces David Wright. Wright takes the first pitch that misses for ball one. 1-0 the count. David Wright has always been a tormentor of the Dodgers, and he's also rough on left-handers. 1-0 pitch on the way, off the plate, ball 2. David Wright hitting .340 against left-hand batters, and against the Dodgers hitting .365. Now the 2-0 pitch on the way. Kazmir delivers, fastball at the knees for a strike, and the count 2-1. So you break down his pitches. The first 15, they're hitting .500. The next 15, .250. The next 15, .056. Off speed pitch, and that just misses outside. So he's behind 3-1 to David Wright. Wright hitting .258. He has 4 home runs. Kazmir ready now, and the left-hander's 3-1 fastball is swung on and missed, and the count 3-2. The Dodgers playing very well on the road. They're 11-7, and they've won 4 of their last 6. But they've been struggling a bit at home for Dave Roberts, and trying to get well starting tonight. 3-2 pitch to Wright, swung on and missed, might have chased a bad ball, High fastball, borderline, could very well have been out of the strike zone. So we have 2 down, and here is the man, Yoenis Cespedes, a remarkable player and doing just what the Mets hoped. His slugging is .701. That's first. He has 30 RBIs, 11 home runs, and it takes him a little less than 9 at-bats to hit 1 out. Cespedes has 11 home runs, 30 runs batted in, and just a point under 300, .299. So Yoenis Cespedes, and later on maybe we can tell you about the man and his automobiles. He takes a pitch outside, ball 1, 1-0. He arrived in spring training to the Mets training camp with 6 cars. But you wouldn't believe the cars and what they cost. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way. Cespedes has a look and is low, 2-0. The big thing, we've heard about a lot of ball players who have escaped Cuba on boats crowded, etc. However, his family had a terrible thought, as shared by Yasiel Puig. What about the family? The 2-0 pitch on the way is foul back. Well, what happened with Cespedes' family, they wound up marooned on a tiny Caribbean island. The family members fearing that their jury would end right there under a baking sun. No water, no cover, no food, nothing. So it looked like they were going to die on the island. 2-1 pitch is fouled away. They were about 600 miles southeast of Florida, and there was a company of 10, including a baby, and no water. No food nor shade. They resorted to catching and cooking an iguana. They ate a seagull, as you can well imagine. 2-2 pitch is ball 3. And salvation arrived in the form of a yacht coming out of nowhere. His mom had walked off to the quiet part of the island and lay down to really give up her life. So a rather sad story, turned around okay, but it was tough. 3-2 pitch, a changeup outside, ball 4. And Cespedes coming up. He trots to first base. And here comes Lucas Duda. So a strikeout followed by a walk, preceded by a home run. And it's 1-0 New York Mets here in the first inning. The Mets come into the game half a game in front of Washington. And one reason they have pounded 2 teams. They've beaten Atlanta 5 out of 6 and 3-0 against Cincinnati. Casimir delivers low and away, ball 1. Throwing in the 92-93 range, but he's also made 17 pitches. So the Mets off to a flying start. Cespedes held on by Gonzalez. Casimir looks over there. Now Scott to the plate, and it's swung on and missed. And the count 1-1. Looked like a little slider, down and away. Beautiful evening, 62 degrees and no wind, so it's pretty comfortable. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way. Casimir staring at Cespedes, back with an off-speed pitch, and Duda way out in front of it. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count. By the way, we were talking about the Nationals, a half a game back of the Mets. Well, the Nationals just beat Detroit 5-4. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Casimir ready. Scott delivers. Slider low, and the count 2-2. Game 1. It should be a tremendous series. Tomorrow night, Jacob deGrom and Alex Wood. Wednesday, Noah Syndergaard and Kenta Maeda. And then Thursday, Bartolo Colon, and the Dodgers not quite sure who will pitch. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Duda. Casimir ready, comes to the plate. Looked like another slider, down and away. Swung on and missed, and down goes Duda. So 1 run, 1 hit, 1 swing of the bat by Curtis Granderson. We're going to the bottom of the first inning. The Mets have jumped out in front 1-0. take a 1-0 lead. Scott Kazmir gives up his 8th home run of the year to the leadoff man, Curtis Granderson. Here's the Dodger lineup. Kike Hernandez in left field. Howie Kendrick at second base. Adrian Gonzalez hits third. At first, Justin Turner clean up at third. Yasiel Puig in right. Trace Thompson in center. A.J. Ellis the catcher. Charlie Culberson at short. And Scott Kazmir on the mound. On the mound for the Mets, Steven Matz, and the left-hander's first pitch fouled away, and the count 0-1. Last June, it was June 28th to be exact, and the Cincinnati Reds were going up against the New York Mets, and Matz, a rookie, made his first pitch, and it went all the way to the bricks in the backstop. Strike one pitch on the way, swung on, a shot off the leg of Matz, picked up at third by Wright, who throws too late at first base. I think the Mets are going to protest that right away. It was a bang play at first. The Mets are looking at Terry Collins. Collins, the skipper of the Mets, is now out on the field. Great try by David Wright to barehand throw on the run. A head first slide by Kike Hernandez, and let's see what happened. The beginning of the play, remember, was that comeback. It went off the foot of the pitcher Matz. The throw to first looks like on the replay that Kike should be out. Now that's the original look. That's our sick. We'll just wait and see. So the Mets have formally requested a review, and they should have, because the original call looked like it was going against them. Anyway, I was telling you about Steven Matz. After a wild pitch on his first pitch to Brandon Phillips, the count went to 3-1, and Phillips hit a home run. So Matz became the second pitcher in Mets history in September of 2008. That was John Neese who surrendered one. Matz won his debut, and by the way, had a big game with the bat. He had 4 runs batted in, breaking the Mets franchise record, 4 RBIs in a major league debut, and it set a major league record for most RBIs by a pitcher. He was also the first Mets pitcher with 4 RBIs in a game since the great Dwight Gooden back in 1990. And he finished the game with 3 hits, and the Mets went on to win 7-2. Well, the Mets have just won the play. It was pretty obvious only with the help of slow motion. But Hernandez was out, and the play goes 1-5-3, and a great play it was by David Wright. So Howie Kendrick checks in, has a look at a pitch on the outside corner for a strike, and the count 0-1. The Dodgers have not seen that much of Steven Matz, a left-hander back with a pitch high, and that runs the count 1-1 strike. Matz is so popular now in Long Island, he has a sandwich named after him. As Kendrick swings, doesn't get it. So that's a big honor in a delicatessen out on the island. The Matz Hero is what they call it. Another hero, Gonzalez, on deck. And the pitch is low. What is the Matz Hero? Well, it's a chicken cutlet with melted jack and cheddar cheese. There's bacon, lettuce, tomato, topped with a pepper house dressing. The next pitch taken to run the count to 3-2. Matz is big enough. He had the Tommy John surgery in 2010. The pitch at Kendrick bounced into the hole on the right side by the diving second baseman Flores and out into right field. So Howie Kendrick perking up with the bat, singles to right, and that'll bring up Adrian Gonzalez. Gonzalez, no record against Matz. Hernandez 1 for 4. Kendrick 1 for 4 with that hit. So Adrian checking in, hitting .278, solid .316 batting average, however, in his years against the Mets. Matz looks in, gets a sign, left-hander set, now to the plate, and off speed and in there for a strike. In talking about Matz, he was drafted in the 2nd round, and he was the 72nd pitcher selected. 72 before they got to him. Strike one pitch, fastball away. 1 ball and 1 strike. He's 6'2", 200-pounder. He'll be 25 a couple of days after Christmas. So he is some kind of prospect. More than that now. He's a big league pitcher. There goes the runner. It's missed at the plate. Poor throw on a bounce. And safely in there is Kendrick. So Plawecki unable to get off a good throw. Kendrick steals second base. So the Dodgers now with 1 out have the tying run. Plawecki's throw, a bouncer that was gloved right at the bag, but too late. So it's 1-0 in favor of the Mets, but the Dodgers have a possible tying run. Kendrick with a single to right, stolen base. Gonzalez trying to pick him up. A breaking ball grounded to the right side. Flores is up with it and throws him out. Kendrick advancing to third, and that'll bring up Justin Turner.
Third baseman, number 10, Justin Turner.
Justin Turner has played 17 games as a Met. Well, no, let's turn him around. He played 17 games against the Mets as a Dodger, and he's wearing them out, hitting .364. His slugging is almost .700, and he has 11 doubles. And during the last year's playoffs, he wore him out again, hitting over .500. So Turner trying to pick up Kendrick. Matz ready and delivers. Fastball low, ball 1, 1-0. 1 run, 1 hit. The very first pitch of the game, and Curtis Granderson hit it in the pavilion. Get the Mets started. 1-0 pitch on the way. Fastball low, ball 2, 2-0. When Matz uncurled that first pitch that hit the bricks behind home plate, everybody thought of Ryan Duran. Do you remember that name? Here's the 2-0 pitch on the way to Justin. Swung on, big chopper to short. Glove there by Cabrera. Makes the play, and the Dodgers leave Kendrick at third. No runs, 1 hit, a stolen base, a man left at third, and at the end of an inning, 1-0 Mets. Nothing lead as we go to the second inning. Dodgers having left the tying run at third. Then for the Mets, it'll be Lagares, Flores, and then Planecki. So Scott Kazmir, who's given up 8 home runs so far this year, now faced with Lagares, one of the outstanding center fielders in the game. Won a Gold Glove, I think it was 2 years ago, and doing very well on the road, hitting .318. Right-hand batter. Kazmir ready, comes to the hitter, and the first pitch a little high and inside, ball 1. The Mets lineup has changed dramatically so. Right about July of last year, the 1-0 pitch, off speed, a changeup for a strike, and the count 1-1. Until near the trade deadline last July, the Mets were last in the major leagues in hitting. Here's the 1-1 pitch, fastball fouled away. Since then, the Mets are not only sixth in the majors in runs, they hit the most home runs in the big leagues. At or near the deadline, the club acquired, remember, Juan Uribe, Kelly Johnson, and biggest of all, Yoenis Cespedes. Also brought up Michael Conforto, and you'll see him against right-hand pitching. 2-2 the count to Lagares. Then all of a sudden, coming back from injuries last year, Lucas Duda, Travis d'Arnaud, and David Wright. 2-2 pitch, fastball just low, ball 3. 3-2. Last year, the Dodgers led the league in home runs for the first time since '83, with Flores waiting on deck. They had 183. Fastball is looped to the gap. Coming over is Puig, makes a diving catch for the out. We had to watch for the second base umpire because he had not been able to get far out there. And Puig head first on the grass. You really couldn't tell whether he caught it or not. The umpire had to run a bit to make the call. We'll take a look even on camera. Yep, he caught it all right and held it in the air in his glove to make sure the umpire saw it. He had to backhand the ball, so he takes a base hit away from Lagares, and that'll bring up Wilmer Flores. Fine play by Yasiel Puig in right field. Off speed pitch to Flores, in for a strike. Remember the story about Flores? A kid infielder, loved the Mets organization, loved being with the Mets. And then he heard the rumor he's been traded to Milwaukee. Strike one pitch is high, 1-1. And he was playing in New York and crying as he stood out at second base. It became a big story until he found out after the game that he was still a Met. Well, the fans in New York loved him for that he would cry over leaving Terry Collins and the Mets. And the next day, what happened? He hit a game-winning home run for Terry. And the Brooklyn team, that's a minor league team in the Mets organization, the end of July, they're going to have a Flores bobblehead. It's a different kind of a bobblehead. It's two-faced. There's a front face and a back face. The front face, he's crying his eyes out. The back face, he's smiling happily, having hit the game-winning home run. Now that's going to be some kind of bobblehead for Mitch Poole to come up with down in the Dodger clubhouse. High fly ball into shallow left center. Thompson is right there, puts it away for the second out. Second out came easier than the first, and the batter now will be Plawecki.
Catcher number 26, Kevin Plawecki.
Kevin Plawecki, who normally catches Steve Matz. Struggling at 227, but perking up a little on the road trip. 4 for 10. Right-hand batter. Rene Rivera, who used to catch for San Diego, is now the backup catcher for the Mets. The first pitch off speed for a strike. Travis d'Arnaud figures to be the #1 catcher, but he's still out with a fractured hand. Casimir ready, and the strike one pitch is swung on. A high fly ball to deep left field. Back goes Hernandez. This one is clearing the wall for a home run. So Plawecki hits it out to join Granderson, and the Mets, with 2 home runs now, have hit 33 on the road. Remarkable. So here comes Steven Matz. So a pitch up and out. That's 9 home runs given up by Scott Kazmir. 2-0 New York. And Matz checks in. Right-hand batter fouls it away. We told you about his debut as Plawecki gets 5s in the dugout. His first home run since a year September when he was with the Reds. Strike one pitch is low. 1 ball and 1 strike. 2-0 in favor of New York. They won 4 of the 7 from the Dodgers last year and 3 of the 5 in the division series. Next pitch, check swing, but it's going to cost him a strike. And the count 1-2. Kazmir's made 37 pitches. Usually he gets by without home runs at that point in a game. The fastball is swung on and missed. That'll do it for Matz, but not before Plawecki hits a home run with the bases empty, and at the end of an inning and a half, the Mets 2 and the Dodgers nothing. The Mets on home runs lead the Dodgers 2-0, bottom of the second inning. It's interesting, we mentioned it earlier, the Dodgers led the National League in home runs last year. This year the Mets lead the major league with 49 home runs, and the Dodgers, well, they're next to last with 23. Only the top 3 home run clubs and the top 4 run scoring clubs are all from the National League. So it was Granderson who began the fireworks with a home run. Now Plawecki homers, and 2-0, and Matz going to work on Yasiel Puig. Puig made that diving catch, and it's just as well took a hit away from Lagares, so that Plawecki's home run came with the bases empty. Puig takes off the plate, ball 1. Kazmir deep in thought, 9 home runs already this year. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Matz delivers, and it's swung on and missed. We mentioned that Steven Matz was the 72nd overall pick in the second round. Dodgers have Trace Thompson on deck. He was the 61st pick overall. Meanwhile, Puig with a 2-ball 1-strike count, backing out. Looking at Steven Matz, among other things, he has gotten excellent run support. 2-1 fastball is fouled off. He has the highest run support during the innings he's pitching. They average 10 runs for him while he is in the game. Another thing that happens, and that probably torments him, hitters foul off pitches a lot. 32% of the strikes are foul balls like that one, upstairs off to the right. Hitters come off the bench and swing at the first pitch, and he will make a mistake and give up a base hit. 0-2. Next pitch, ground ball to short. Up with it there is Cabrera, and that'll do it for Puig, and 1 away. Say, don't forget Wednesday, Dodgers and Mets, and the first 40,000 fans receive a Dave Roberts bobblehead, courtesy of State Farm. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. So here is Trace Thompson. Trace, as we mentioned, the 61st pick in that second round of 2009. Matz into the windup, left-hander over the top, fastball high and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Matz ready and comes back 1-0, and again same spot, fastball high and away. Matz pitches very well when he has a lead, and he has a lead tonight, 2-0. 2-0 pitch, hard ground ball, but right at Cabrera, and the shortstop nails the throw to first. So we have 2 down, and A.J. Ellis coming up.
Catcher number 17, A.J.
In talking about Matz, he has the 3rd best ERA among starting pitchers when he has a lead. His earned run average when he has a lead is 0.8. Well, he's leading 2-0 second inning, and he's facing A.J. Ellis. So A.J. in there. Matz looks down the barrel to get a sign. 2-0 Mets, bottom of the second. A.J. tired of waiting and backs out. Matz ready now without a big windup. Slips the first one in there low. 1 ball and no strikes. The 1-0 pitch on the way, slap to right, starting back and then staying with it is Granderson. Ball hit hard. He thought it was going to stay high, and it hung right at his nose. So 1-2-3 inning, down go the Dodgers, 2-0 New York. Eat cotton candy without getting some of it on your mouth. Holy mackerel. I don't have to stand inspection. I'm in a ball game. But then again, thanks, Dad. And we go to the third, 2-0 in favor of the New York Mets. The Mets have hit 2 home runs, and the man who hit the first pitch out, Curtis Granderson. Granderson, by the way, has led off now with 37 home runs in his career. Casimir ready, Scott over the top, and the fastball is off the plate, ball 1. The Mets, by hitting 2 home runs already, have hit 33 home runs on the road, and the opposition has hit 6. Off speed, beautiful pitch in for a strike. Granderson a little tied up on that one. 1-1 to count. Granderson's parents, both educators. Fastball is flared to left field inside the line. Going over to get the ball is Hernandez. Granderson going for 2. The throw, he is out. Nice play by K.K. Hernandez. The Mets are thinking about a review, but I don't believe they'll even bother. It was a strong throw. Kike had to race to his right, then kind of surrounded it, scooped it up, and was ready to gun it into second base. And the ball was right there, held by Charlie Culberson, and all Granderson could do was slide into the tag. So base hit, but one out. And the next pitch to Cabrera hits him in the small of the bat, and Cabrera goes down to first base.
Number 5, David Wright.
So here comes David Wright, who was always wrong against the Dodgers. That got Cabrera, I believe, just around the left elbow. He looks out and says something with a grin, and he's making fun of Kazmir. The idea, you don't throw hard enough to hurt me, you know, that kind of stuff. He's laughing at first. Adrian Gonzalez holding the corner, and here's Wright. Wright might have struck out in the first inning, but he also made a dazzling play on the ball hit by Kike Hernandez. Went off Matt's foot, and Wright came over and made a great play. So David waiting, takes a look at a pitch off the plate. 1 ball and no strikes. They asked David Wright about retribution because of Utley's slide, Ruben Tejada, etc. Wright said, nope. The retribution was the fact that we won the division series. Next pitch swung on and missed, off speed. David, so honored in New York, so popular, and so well deserving. He is not only a remarkable player, but he's a good man off the field. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Kazmir at the belt, looking at first, high kick, and back with a fastball all the way to the backstop. So down to second goes Cabrera. That kick seemed to be so high that he kind of lost direction. And it was low, knee high, but it got away from Ellis. So a hit batter, and what we assume is a wild pitch. It went off the glove of Ellis, but it was not in the dirt. So a runner at second. Remember, Granderson led off with a single and was thrown out. It's going to be a pass ball charged to Ellis, since they assume he should have at least knocked it down. Big swing and a miss for David Wright. So David struck out in the first inning, and he's 2-2 the count here in the third. Mets lead on home runs by Granderson and Plawecki, 2-0. Kazmir looks back at second at Cabrera, then backs off the rubber. 1 out, 2-2 to Wright. Cespedes on deck. Now the 2-2 pitch coming up. Kazmir change, and it's low, 3-2. So if you're the hitter and you have Cespedes on deck and they count 3-2, you're figuring first base open. Will he go 3-2 with a fastball or off speed? And you have a veteran hitter and a veteran pitcher. So a little interesting battle here. 3-2 the count to David Wright. Kazmir set, looking back at Cabrera, now to the plate, and a fastball way off the mark, way outside. So Scott Kazmir is struggling after 48 pitches, and by the way, this is when he really gets in trouble. We talked about breaking down his pitches, the league hitting 500 in the first 15. When you get to the area between 46 and 60, he has given up 3 home runs, and the opposition is hitting 292. So right now he is really in the choppy waters. He hadn't gotten anybody out. Granderson singled, and then Hernandez threw him out at second. Then he hit Cabrera, walks right, and here's the man, Cespedes. Cespedes walked in the first inning. Kazmir checks the runners, still looking. Now to the plate, and the first one is low, ball 1. 9 of Cespedes' 11 home runs have come with runners on base. 5 of 11 with runners in scoring position. He kills the first pitch if it's around the plate, but this one missed. 1 ball and no strikes. Kazmir set, checking, ready, delivers, and that one is low and inside. So he's behind now 2-0. We were talking about Cespedes' car and his love of cars. We don't want to get caught in a big spot here. The 2-0 pitch on the way. And that's a hard ground ball into left center for the base hit. Hernandez comes up with throwing to the plate, and it's not in time. Going in head first is Cabrera. So Cespedes singles into left field. That scores Cabrera. That makes it 3-0 New York. Wright stopped at second, and the batter now will be Duda. So Cespedes' hard ground ball to the left of short. Culberson never had a play. Hernandez tried to get his man, but it was a high throw and the plate was wide open, and coming in head first was Cabrera. So it's a base hit and a run batted in for Cespedes. So still in the inning, and this will be the 5th hitter. Kazmir has not gotten an out. Duda takes low, ball 1. 1-0. That's another thing. Kazmir pretty much is pitching behind to the hitters. Duda struck out in the 1st inning. So 2 on, a run in, 3-0 Mets. Kazmir set at the belt. Left-hander ready, and here he comes, and that one is low and inside. Scott with a fastball at 93, but you just can't keep pitching behind, and he's having a lot of trouble. Duda followed by Lagares. Out to the mound, A.J. Ellis to talk to him, but there's not much to say. He gave up a home run on the first pitch of the night to Granderson. Gave up a home run to Plawecki after a diving catch by Puig. That saved him a run. Now in the inning, a single, and Granderson was thrown out trying to stretch, followed by a hit batter, a walk, and a single. So it's 3-0 New York. Duda waiting. Dodgers can't load up the right side, but Culberson is not quite behind the bag. Duda starts to swing, holds up, and an 80-mile-an-hour change in for a strike. Duda, who went to school here at USC. 2-1 the count. Kazmir fighting to stay in the game. Fastball, and that is low. So he's behind 3-1. Duda, no doubt thinking about a fastball. Cespedes got a fastball and grounded it into left field for a base hit. So Wright and Cespedes taking their leads, and the 3-1 pitch to Duda. That's a check swing, and the ball gets away from Ellis, not far enough, but the bases are loaded, and the Dodgers in a lot of trouble, and we're only in the 3rd inning.
Number 12, Juan Lagares.
So Kazmir has not gotten a man out yet, and that's the tough part of the inning. The only out came on Kike Hernandez throw to nail Granderson. Rick Honeycutt going out to try to help. Though in the inning following the out, Cabrera hit by a pitch, right walk. Cespedes single to left to cash in Cabrera. Then Duda just walked to load him up. So Wright's at 3rd, Cespedes at 2nd, Duda at 1st, and Juan Lagares, right-hand batter, coming up. Dodger bullpen beginning to loosen up. They're not throwing a ball yet, but the boys are getting ready. So you don't just begin to throw, you have to get the body in motion to loose things up. So it all started really after the base hit. Cabrera hit by the pitch. So Lagares hit a sinker into right field and a diving catch by Puig. So Juan up there with the bases loaded, 1 out. The Mets trying to break the game wide open. Slow pitch for a strike. 0-1. Juan shaking his head no, but the plate umpire Jim Reynolds calls it a strike. Right down the line from 3rd, Cespedes from 2nd, Duda at 1st, 1 out, and the strike 1 pitch. Kazmir ready. Here he comes. And that swung on. Little pop fly into shallow left center. It is going to be caught by Hernandez. Throws to second to double up the runner. The Mets lose a run on an embarrassing play at second base. Terry Collins is looking to see if the videographer decides it's worth a call, and it is not. Cespedes, for some reason, thought maybe the ball would drop, and yet the play was right in front of him. And Kike not only made the catch to retire Lagares, but throwing to second base, he doubles up Cespedes. Dodgers out of the jam, but it's now 3-0 New York. Of the third inning, Culberson, Kazmir, and Hernandez due up in that order. Kazmir giving up 3, could easily have given up 5. And the first pitch to Culberson in for a strike. The closest man to the play was off the bag far, which was a surprise. And then Cespedes tries to get back, and he's doubled up. There's a line drive, base hit into the center by Charlie Culberson. So that is hit number 2 for the Dodgers. And the batter will be Kazmir, coming up in what you would figure is a bunt situation. Yeah, that's one of those tough plays for the manager to take. I mean, Terry's got to be saying to Cespedes, where were you? I mean, the play is right there in front of you. Well, he was nailed. Big play. Run was already coming across the plate. So it's still 3-0 Mets. And here's Kazmir showing bunt. Pulls the bat back on ball 1. 1-0. We mentioned that Kevin Plawecki is the catcher. Matz loves to pitch to him. His earned run average with Plawecki is .9. 2 runs in 20 innings. They also say Matz likes to pitch on the road. In his career, he is 4-0. So Kazmir trying to bunt his man along, give up an out, get a man in the scoring position. Matz delivers, and the pitch is high and inside. Ball 2, and the count 2-1. Usually the word on Matz, if you want to hit him, you have to hit him early in the count, but you have the pitcher up there now. So Steve looks in, getting his sign. Another peek over at Culberson. The pitch to Kazmir, a bunt attempt, fouled it back, and the count 2-2. Dave Roberts hollering encouragement. Meanwhile, Chris Woodward signaling a few signs, and Kazmir waiting. Culberson off the bag at first. The 2-2 pitch on the way is a bunt, and it's a good one. Wright picks it up, fires to Flores covering. So the sacrifice moves Culverin to second base, and the batter will be Kike Hernandez. So Hernandez is already a standout in the game.
Now batting, number 14, Kike Hernandez.
Hernandez made that fine play on what might have been a double for Curtis Granderson. He shot him down, and then he doubles up Cespedes at second base. He lost defensively on a great play by David Wright. Took a hit away from him in the first inning. So the Dodgers have a runner at second. They had a runner at third, Kendrick, in the first inning. And the fastball in for a strike. 0-1. Kike hitting a solid .286 with a runner in scoring position. Takes one in there again. 0-2. Kike playing left field tonight. Dodgers have moved the furniture around in left field. 0-2 the count. Matz delivers high fastball, and chasing it is Hernandez to strike out. Just could not hold up on a pitch that was just about over his head. So that's the second out. First strikeout for Matz. And the batter is Howie Kendrick. Just think what Howie Kendrick has done already this year. He's played first base, second base, third base, left field. And there going to third base is Culberson, and steals it without a throw. So Matz, concentrating on the pitch, forgot all about him, and Culberson steals third. Remember, Kendrick stole second in the first inning. Matz delivers, it swung on and missed, and the count 0-2. So they'll run a bit on him, and that's proven to hold up. Culberson down the line from third. The next pitch just inside. 1-2 the count. Base stealers 5 for 6 going into this game. Now the 1-2 pitch on the way low and inside. 2-2. So base stealers were 5 for 6, and he has allowed one stolen base after the third inning in his career. Well, we're in the third inning, and Culberson stole third. The next pitch fouled away. Stealing third, you just don't see it too often, but the Mets do gamble, and they will run on you, and we just saw them do it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Matz ready, comes back, and Kendrick swings right through it. Strike 3. So for the Dodgers, they left Hendrick at third in the first inning, and they leave Culberson at third in the third. And at the end of 3-0 Mets. On Sportsnet LA is brought to you by the Dodge Challenger. Test drive one at your local Dodge dealer today. And by Jack in the Box. Taste the Bacon-licious sourdough bacon ranch combo. Only at Jack in the Box. 3-0 Mets, fourth inning, a picture out of the past. 1947 World Series. Bill Bevins of the Yankees pitching a no-hitter against the Dodgers. Tough one-run game. Dodgers have 2 on. They go to the bench. Cookie Lavagetto doubles off the right field wall, and the Dodgers win the game. Among others, Gene Hermansky and Rex Barney hosting Cookie Lavagetto. You know the most amazing thing about that? With a runner at second base in the World Series 9th inning, Pete Reiser came up to hit. First pitch, a changeup into Flores for a strike. I guess it was Bucky Harris, the manager. He walked Reiser intentionally, putting the potential winning run at first base. There's a flare that's going to go into right field, so Kazmir's going to have to work out of the stretch again on the first pitch. A base hit by Flores. Anyway, Pete Reiser was walked, and Eddie Mixis, an infielder, ran for him. You won't believe this, but it's true. They walked Pete Reiser, and they didn't know Reiser had a broken leg. True. And then Lavagetto came up, and the Dodgers won a squeaker. What an inning that was. First pitch low, ball 1. Who said Reiser had a broken leg? Pete Reiser. Kazmir, meanwhile, has a bit of a broken heart right now. He's allowed 3 runs, 5 hits, including 2 home runs, and it could have been worse. The 1-0 pitch on the way is a flare right to Howie Kendrick, who drops it, but they're not going to go for it. First of all, it wasn't high enough for any kind of a play. It was right there, and Howie's chagrined a little bit that he even tried to do it. So a little out by Plawecki. 1 down. Holding is Flores, and Steven Matz coming up. So Kendrick was thinking anyway, trying to get a force or even a double play. Second base umpire Mark Ripperger said no play. Kendrick talking to Charlie Culberson out by the bag. So Flores at first, 1 out, and Matz, who struck out in the second inning, checking in. See if Matz tries to bunt to advance his runner, and Kazmir backs off the rubber. Gonzalez is taking a play out of a former Mets first baseman, Keith Hernandez. He's not holding the bag. He's playing caddy corner, but he's 5 feet off the bag at least. Kazmir looks, Gonzalez retreats, and the pitch outside, ball 1. 1-0. Matz, 1 hit, 9 at bats. Last year shocked everybody in his debut. 3 hits, 4 RBIs. The 1-0 pitch on the way, a strike. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Mets. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Dodgers. Matz checking to see if the bunt is still on. 1 on, 1 out. Pickoff play. Kazmir in a lot of trouble, but it's only 3-0. It could easily be 6-0. There goes the runner, and it's fouled away. So they took the bunt off, if indeed it was on. Flores was gone. They played hit and run. So Terry rolling the dice. Terry Collins spent a career with the Dodgers, though he was a very valuable asset for so many years in the Dodger organization. And that's slapped foul. So it's still 1-2 the count. He's managed everywhere, it seems. managed in Japan, all over the place. He is a true baseball man. And off speed, you don't usually change up on a pitcher, but they change up on Matz, and he strikes out.
Right fielder, Curtis Granderson.
So 4 strikeouts. Kazmian out, trying to get out of the inning, up against a tough hombre. If you're a parent, and Granderson's parents would always put his record in school on the refrigerator. Off speed for a strike, on 1. In other words, if he was struggling and on that refrigerator, it showed that his marks were not where they should be. He couldn't play baseball. There goes the runner, off speed. The throw down is not in time. That was an interesting play because Justin Turner was breaking to cover, and let's see. Flores, I think, looks like he might have cut his nose. Little, yeah, right on the bridge of his nose. Turner is talking to him. But as Flores was going with Granderson at the plate, Turner was the guy who went to the bag, and Culberson, the shortstop, was racing to third. Tough play, head first, which is the worst thing in the whole world to do. The modern day player is foolish, absolutely foolish. Hands, arms, neck, head, and you go in head first. Well, he's lucky, a little bloody on the bridge of his nose. When you think about it, some of the top players, I mean really the best players, are head first sliders. You take a look at some of the players around, they don't even think about sliding, and they don't work at it. It's just head first. And look at that blood coming down. Who are the top 2 players right now in baseball, would you think? How about Bryce Harper? How about Mike Trout? They are both head first sliders, and they mean so much to the game. One of the two things, oh gosh, I could come up with a number. Things that have disappeared in spring training. Rubber shirts, because the players who in the old days might come 5-10 pounds overweight, and they'd wear a rubber shirt to sweat it off. But the other thing that really is missing, disappeared years and years ago, the sliding pits. They used to have a sliding pit full of sawdust with a bag, and they have one kid learning to slide and one kid learning to tag. And they all went through it. No more sliding pits, no more people working on slides. Head first slides, and a tremendous risk of injury. 0-2 the count to Granderson. 1-2. Very first pitch of the night, the chairs were barely warm, and Granderson hit a line drive home run into the right field pavilion. Then in the 3rd inning, flared a single to left, tried to take 2, and Hernandez nailed him. Now you have Flores, who's single to right, stealing second. That is the 3rd stolen base for the Mets. 1-2 pitch on the way. 2-2. Looking back in my book, Cabrera stole in the 3rd inning, and Flores now in the 4th. They'll make it 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Oh, great pitch. Granderson goes down swinging. So the Mets leave Flores at second base. As we're going now to the bottom of the 4th, 3-0, with Adrian Gonzalez to lead it off as the Dodgers try to get out from under a 3-0 deficit. Nothing in favor of the Mets. Dodgers trying to get off the floor now. And Gonzalez followed by Turner and Puig. We can tell you the Blue Jays are leading the Giants 3-0 in the third inning. Aaron Sanchez against Jake Peavy. 2-run home run by Edwin Encarnacion. Jake Peavy with an earned run average of 9. Really struggling, as is Matt Cain. 1-1. Steven Matz. 4-0 with a record of 4-1. Winning 4 straight. In his 11 starts for the Mets going back to last year in this, he's 8 of 11. 1 ball and 1 strike. Fouled away. 1-2. If you joined us right about now, the Mets put up a run in each of the first 3 innings. Could have had more. They had 2 home runs, 3 more hits. Well, they've had 2 big outs at second base to slow down the act. 2-2. Gonzalez came into the game hitting .276. A bouncer up the middle behind the bag nicely is Cabrera. And we have 1 away in the 4th inning. Say be sure don't miss the Freeway Series driven by Lexus when the Dodgers and the Angels face off at Dodger Stadium. That's next week, May 16th and 17th. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/tickets. Justin Turner, who tried to make the tag on Flores in the 4th inning. That was a different kind of a play. I think one reason Granderson can go the other way. The Flores going in head first. Turner and Culberson just ran by each other, so that Turner was there to try to make the tag, and Culberson was moving over to cover third base. And the only thing we can think of was that Kazmir was going to hit away from Granderson, so they had to protect the left side. 2-1 to count. Nice easy 93-mile-an-hour fastball. 2-2 the count. Slow and high, ball 3. He's had 14 called third strikes. He fools him a bit, not only overpowering him. They had 30 strikeouts coming into the game. Waiting on deck, Yasiel Puig. There's the curveball hit in the air down the line. Here comes Culberson. It's going to land fair. Culberson has a little trouble picking it up, but Turner wisely holding at first. So Turner, a pop fly down the right field line, drops in for a single. And the batter is Yasiel Puig. So 1 out, 1 on. 3-0 in favor of the Mets. And here's Yasiel Puig. Puig grounded to short, made a diving catch to take a base hit away. That was a ball hit by Lagares. And had he not caught it the way the inning played, Plawecki came up and wound up hitting a solo home run. Instead, with a man aboard, Lagares lost the hit, and the Mets lost a possible extra run. High fly ball down the right field line. Granderson has a play, makes the catch for the out. Puig, first ball swinging, and flies to right. So 2 down. Granderson covering a lot of ground out there. And Trace Thompson coming up. Trace grounded to short in the second inning. No runs, 1 hit so far for the Dodgers in this inning. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Mets. No runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers. Matz has allowed 2 singles to right and a single up the middle. The Dodgers have really hit just 1 fly ball. That was the ball that was just hit by Puig, caught by Granderson. The other fly ball by Turner just did drop in. Ellis hit 1. But Matz so far very much in control. 1 ball and no strikes. Fastball hit to right and deep. Granderson going back to the track at the box seats. It's gone. Trace Thompson. It's a 2-run home run to right field, and the Dodgers cut the Mets lead to 3-2. So the Dodgers have some good fortune. After all, the ball hit by Turner just dropped for a base hit. And then Thompson hits it out. For Trace Thompson, his 3rd home run. And the Met lead 3-2. For the wonderkid, Steven Matz doesn't give up many. Gets a strike immediately to the next hitter. Matz had allowed 1 home run until that ball hit by Trace Thompson. 1-1. Fastball hit up the middle for a base hit. So A.J. Ellis singles sharply, and Charlie Culberson will be coming up. So in the inning with 1 out, Turner hit just a fly ball down the right field line, but it dropped for a base hit after Puig flied to right. Thompson homered to right. Now Ellis singles up the middle, and Charlie Culberson, who singled up the middle in the 3rd inning, checking in. So Trace Thompson gets the Dodgers back in the game. Charlie not only singled, he stole 3rd in the 3rd inning. Starts him with a fastball, a broken bat off the glove, picked up and thrown to first, and it's away. All the way over to 3rd base goes Ellis. Safely aboard at first is Culberson. So the Dodgers hitting in good luck. A broken bat comebacker that went off the glove, and it winds up 1st and 3rd with 2 out. Off the glove of Matz. Flores charged through low on a hop. Duda unable to control it. And the Dodgers have runners at the corners. Nice try by Flores. And Duda tried to stay on the bag. Couldn't do it. So with 2 out, the Dodgers have runners at 1st and 3rd. Ellis all the way to 3rd. Culberson safely aboard. It'll go as a base hit, a broken bat hit, and with 2 out in a 3-2 game, Kazmir stays in the game and comes up. Fastball for a strike. So that was a 1-4-3 single. Strike 1 pitch on the way. It swung on and missed. 0-2. Dodgers do not want to get into the bullpen in the 4th inning. Not if they can help it. So Kazmir staying in. Roberts going with the left-hander, now very much back in the game, trailing just by 1. Ellis at third. There goes Culberson. The pitch fouled away. So Charlie will have to go back to first. Dodgers have piled up 6 hits and 2 runs. 0-2 to Kazmir. Fastball away at 92. And down he goes. So Kazmir strikes out. Dodgers get a 2-run home run to right field by Trace Thompson. It's the old story. It didn't go far. It wasn't hit hard, but it still accounts for 2 big runs as it lands in the second row. And at the end of 4, 3-2 Mets. Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Toyota time is going on now. Save big on the striking all-new 2016 Prius. See your local dealer today. 3-2 Mets in the 5th inning. Sandy Amoros making a great catch down the left field line at Yankee Stadium. A ball hit by Yogi Berra. He then turned, fired to Pee Wee Reese, who threw to first, and they got Gil McDougald, I believe, for the biggest double play, and the Dodgers went on to win the '55 World Series. Ah, yes, memories. Well, Trace Thompson has a good memory. Fly ball to right field that just dropped in for a 2-run home run. It'll look like a 400-foot home run at least in the box score. Time flies, and looking back at some of those old-time pictures, for instance, for the Mets, this is their 300th regular season game at Dodger Stadium. When they started off, of course, they were a terrible team back in 1962. So they had a record here of 45 wins and 104 losses. However, since 1984, they've won 77. Lost 73. And by the way, in 1984, that was Dwight Gooden's rookie year. So here we go. Off speed pitch for a strike to Cabrera, then right, and Cespedes. Ground ball to short. Charlie Culberson, 1 away. I told you earlier about the fact that Cespedes and automobiles are quite a story. David Wright coming up, Cespedes on deck. When he came to spring training, he brought his collection. I was a street kid in New York. My parents never had a car, so I never really thought about cars. My life was subways, trolley cars. Where do you see about Cespedes? That's ball one. His collection includes a Ford F-250, 2 custom Polaris slingshots. I have no idea what a Polaris slingshot is. Maybe you do. Check swing, no swing. A custom Lamborghini Aventador, an Alfa Romeo 86 Competizione, a custom Jeep Wrangler. Fly ball to center, starting back, Thompson. 2 down. Now, I'm not just talking about cars. Altogether, they total a little under $1 million. But then the piece de resistance. Not only those cars, he also bought a 270-pound hog from a local county fair. He says, you know how much he spent for the hog? $7,000. Oh, it's some kind of a hog. Ball one. Thing is, now not only is a great car, but then he has it customized, and that's where the money is really spent. The Ford F-250, that cost $30,000 to be customized. That Polaris slingshot, that was $40,000. The Lamborghini, the manufacturer's suggested retail price is $397,500, and he customized it for another $80,000. 2-2. Well, enough cars, but we just thought you might find that interesting. 2 out, top of the 5th. 3-2 Mets. Left side loaded up. And an off-speed pitch. Down he goes. So all of a sudden, Kazmir has 3 strikeouts in the last 2 innings. The Mets hanging on now to a 3-2 lead.
The Dodger game on May 10th to get a Vince Scully Avenue t-shirt courtesy of the Mercedes-Benz dealers of Southern California. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Bottom of the 5th inning, 3-2. It's a totally different game now. And Matt's first pitch, a strike. to the leadoff man, Kike Hernandez. Kike thrown out on a splendid play by David Wright, struck out in the third, and made two fine defensive plays to get runners at second base. Good fastball. 1-2 the count. Kike making a strong throw to nail Granderson in the third inning, and then the play to double up Cespedes at second base on the fly ball hit by Lagares. So the Mets have wasted several opportunities. They could easily have run away and hit. Instead, they kind of hung around, and the Dodgers got the two-run home run by Thompson, and that seemed to do something to Kazmir, because he went out and retired the side for the first time tonight. And Scott has struck out 6. A little fly ball to right. Granderson coming up for it. One down. Howie Kendrick single to right and struck out.
Howie Kendrick.
Kendrick in the first inning singled, stole second. Got to third after Gonzalez grounded out, but Turner couldn't pick him up. Off speed for a strike. Fastball on the heels of that off-speed pitch. Cabrera is on it. 2 down in the 5th inning, and Adrian Gonzalez coming up.
First baseman Adrian Gonzalez.
Fastball missed down. 1 ball and no strikes to Adrian Gonzalez. He's rolled out twice, 0 for 2. 1-1. Matz taking off a little bit on 2 consecutive pitches. Two and 1. So Matt's pitch count, he's up to 76. Kazmir has made 82 pitches. 3-1. And a high foul ball down the line, out of play. 3-2 the count to Adrian Gonzalez. Matz coming into the game very stingy as far as base on balls. Just 2. And this is the first one of the night. So it comes with 2 out, and it'll bring up Justin Turner.
Third baseman Justin Turner.
Danny Warthen, the pitching coach for the New York Mets, going out to the mound. I have kind of an unbelievable set of numbers about Danny Warthen, and I really should try to get them in. You will not believe what happened to Danny when he was pitching for Gene Moss. It's unbelievable. We'll get you, Danny, before the night's over. And I guarantee you, when you hear what he went through, truly remarkable. Don't want to miss anything. Danny was also the bullpen coach here for the Dodgers. Very, very pleasant man. A foul ball, out of play. right, there's 2 out and a 1-1 count. I don't know if I have enough time. I don't want to mess up the inning, but it is worth listening to, believe me, as to Danny Warthen when he was pitching for the Montreal Expos. The manager was Gene Walk. Well, do I start? Okay. Gene Mauch allowed Warthen to throw 142 pitches before removing him in the 10th inning for a pinch hitter. 142. 2 days later, Warthen was summoned out of the bullpen. The Expos were losing. He threw 17 pitches and walked the bases loaded. In July and August, Mauch permitted Warthen to throw 130 pitches or more 4 times. Give you an idea, all the pitchers in baseball combined since opening day of 2014 have thrown that many pitches just twice. In a game against the Giants, Warthen threw 164 pitches while working into the 11th inning. 5 days later, he threw 130 pitches. Now, can you... Wow, another foul ball. Warthen's career ERA that night in Atlanta stood at 2.94. After that, 4.5, and he was out of the majors at the age of 26. So if you want to talk about Gene Mauch and what a great manager, talk to Danny Warthen. Big chopper to David Wright. Okay, we got it in without messing up the inning. No runs, no hits, a walk and a man left. And at the end of 5, it remains 3-2 Mets. 84 in the American League, the White Sox playing Milwaukee, and it went 17 innings. So they held off the game to finish it the following day. Following day, it went 8 more innings. That made it a 25-inning game won by the White Sox in 8 hours and 6 minutes. Oh, by the way, in the 25th inning, Tom Seaver pitched to pick up the victory. And then the regularly scheduled game, Seaver went out and won another one. Big day in that one, Chicago and Milwaukee. Let's go back to this one. Kazmir starting to throw strikes now, working on Duda. Lucas has struck out and walked. Kazmir has retired the last 6 in a row. So he has really changed. Remember, in the first 3 innings, it looked like he was behind on a lot of people. Foul ball. Meanwhile, Steven Matz had a 23-pitch inning in the fourth, a 20-pitch inning in the fifth. But it sure won't compare to Danny Warthen. Meanwhile, Matz bundled up with a hoodie. Off speed, sound like a cracked bat. Kendrick takes care of it. So it's a different Kazmir now. The Mets had a golden opportunity to chase him. Scott hung in there and still pitching, and now just a one-run game. Dodgers, for whatever reason, struggling at home. They began the night 5-8 at home, 11-7 on the road. One reason the Dodgers are not quite averaging 3 runs a game at home, over 5 on the road. And the batting average, when the Dodgers are on the road, they're hitting .267. Here at Dodger Stadium, .199. For whatever reason. Kazmir now 88 pitches. They're averaging a .250 batting average from now to number 90. And then, just to keep it in mind, when he gets over 90, beginning with 91, they're hitting .444 against him. Fastball, good pitch. So he's in a very dangerous area right now. And that's going to be hit to Hernandez in left field. 2 down. So it's a different Scott Kazmir after Flores had the base hit to right field, stole second. He's been picking them up. He's retired 8 in a row. And here comes Flores. Fly to center, single to right. Had the bridge of his nose cut. Wearing little tape. Right. Off speed, and he tried to hold up and then let loose, and not even close. Oh, and 2. Now the fastball, just to make him think about it. One and 2 to Wilmer. He's from Valencia in Venezuela. For Flores, in his first 5 major league games, he drove in 8 runs. So he joined Yasiel Puig, 2 of only 4 active players who have had 8 RBIs in their first 5 games. Change up. Yasiel Puig, by the way, had 10 RBIs by the time he finished in his first 5 games. 3 and 2. Check. No swing. So Flores draws the walk, breaking the string after retiring 8 in a row.
Catcher Kevin Plawecki.
Kevin Plawecki coming up. He had a home run in the 2nd inning. Down in the Dodger bullpen, left-hander Adam Libator begins to loosen up. Kazmir would be batting 5th in the bottom of the 6th. Off speed, throwing a lot of off speed pitches for strikes, and very confident now. In the 3rd inning, he walked a couple and hit a batter, walked a man in the 1st inning, but now he's throwing strikes. Plawecki hit his first home run of the year in the second inning. Oh, and 1. Fastball. Kazmir gives up a lot of stolen bases when you realize he's a left-hand pitcher. Here's a look at the Plawecki home run. Hernandez to the wall, but it's gone. That's when everything seemed to be going the Mets' way up to a point. They led 3-0. They could have had maybe a 5 or 6-0 lead. Curtis Granderson pointed them in the right direction. Change up and a little dribbler to Kendrick, and he drops the ball while in the act of throwing. Well, that'll be an error, of course. So with 2 out, runners at first and second.
Pitcher Steven Matz.
Just one of those routine easy plays. Whoops. Embarrassing as well. So Howie trying to forget about it and get back to business. And a line drive inside the line, and that will get 1 in. Hernandez throwing towards the infield, and the Mets have runners at second and third. So the routine error puts a dagger in Kendrick's heart, and immediately Matz comes up with a double to add a run to make it 4-2, and more importantly now put runners on second and third with 2 out and bring up Granderson. So Matz helping his own cause, and a huge double. So Dave Roberts figuring, wait a minute, I've got Liberatore, and you've got to be totally destroyed by the error followed by the double by the pitcher. And I think Dave is going to take the ball from him and bring in Liberatore. Let's see. He's made 101 pitches. Yep. Out he goes. Boy, he gave it a battle. From a really rocky 3 innings, he hung in there and gave the Dodgers another good 3 innings, only to be undermined by the error. Liberatore coming in, Kazmir going out. 4-2 Mets, and we'll be back. Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop online at choosenissan.com. And by Carl's Jr., the $4 real deal, 4 items for just $4 at Carl's Jr. Well, we're still active in the 6th inning. The Mets have now taken a 4-2 lead. They have runners at second and third. Liberatore ready to contend with Curtis Granderson, who hit the first pitch for a home run in the top of the first inning. Since then, single to left, thrown out stretching, and struck out. And ball one. In the Dodger bullpen, Liberatore has been called in. Lewis Coleman is warming up. Scott Kazmir shaking his head over that routine play by Howie Kendrick. It's all part of the game, but it's maddening. That's a strike. I always remember Pee Wee Reese saying to Jackie Robinson right after Bobby Thompson's home run, said, "Jackie, there's one thing I'll never understand." Jackie said, "What's that, Pee Wee?" And Reese said, "That this game hasn't driven me crazy." One and one. A strike. Granderson acted like it was almost going to hit him. Plawecki and Matz are out there. 2 out, 1 and 2 to Granderson. Fouled away. Granderson having a great career. I mean, he started playing professionally in 2002. A lot of years with the Tigers and then the Yankees. He had 2 years with the Yankees where he hit 41 home runs, 43 home runs. Curtis Granderson. 1 and 2. Pulled foul. Granderson went to school at the University of Illinois. We mentioned his family, mother and dad, educators. His mother, Mary, a high school chemistry teacher. She went to school at night to get her master's in chemistry. And his father, now retired, an elementary school physical education teacher. 1 and 2. Adam not quite sure, backs off the rubber. Mets 4 runs, 6 hits. Dodgers 2 runs, 6 hits. 1 huge error. Fastball hit right where the shortstop Culberson is to throw him out. So the Mets get 1, leave 2. Kazmir goes down losing 4-2, and we'll be right back. Cricket Wireless. Cricket, something to smile about. Come on out and join the fun starting tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, Jacob deGrom with a record of 3-1 against Alex Wood, who's 1-3. Wednesday, Noah Syndergaard and Kenta Maeda. And then Thursday, Bartolo Colon, and the Dodgers not quite sure. After the Mets leave, following a 4-game series, St. Louis Cardinals will be here for 3. And then Monday and Tuesday of the following week, the Angels will be here for 2. So it's a great homestand. The weather is good. Hope you'll be out here with us. Yasiel Puig grounded a short, fly to right, and made a diving catch of a ball hit by Lagares back in the 2nd inning. And a strike. Puig struggling after a great start, trying to get himself untracked. One ball and 1 strike. They were saying that Puig has been swinging at a lot of pitches outside the strike zone. Tell you one thing the Dodgers did way back in Brooklyn when Branch Rickey ran the club. Foul ball. He was jammed, and he's annoyed at himself. There was a player who would take batting practice with the Dodgers. However, he was not allowed to swing the bat. And you can imagine how frustrated he was. They even had him hit balls off a tee. They'd move the tee around. And that's called strike 3, and Yasiel goes down. Anyway, some of the players' buddies would be right around the batting cage, and on every pitch they would ask him what it was, and he would say ball or strike, and they would say no, it was a ball. You would have swung it. And that went on for several days. Well, it helped him. Edwin the Duke Snyder on his way to the Hall of Fame. So I'm not sure if they can do something like that with Puig, but it's just a thought from way back when. Trace Thompson had a fly ball to right field, and it carried down the line and got back in, I would say, 2 rows. Might as well have hit it 450 feet. It was a home run with a man aboard, accounting for the Dodger 2 runs. By the way, down in the Dodger bullpen now, Joe Blanton, a right-hander, begins to warm up. Boy, that was an awkward hack by Trace Thompson. It shows you you can be a hero for a moment. Can we take another look at that swing? I don't think Trace wants you to look at it. Going down there, hitting off the front foot, just badly fooled. And that's the game, isn't it? 1 minute you hit a home run, and next minute, forget it. That's a strike. Hansel Robles begins to warm up in the Mets bullpen. You see Matz is coming up to 100 pitches. Fastball line to right. Granderson picks it off. So Ellis hits it on the screws, but right at the right fielder. Dodgers go down in order, and we are heading for the 7th inning. 4-2 Mets. leading the Dodgers 4-2. Not sure about the future in Steve Matz. Terry Collins talked to him. He's not wearing a windbreaker. So we'll wait and see. He went 6 innings, made 98 pitches. They are saying goodbye to him, so he's done. Jacob deGrom talking to him. Noah Syndergaard just to his left, picture right. So from the looks of things, Matz goes out leading 4-2. And we're in the 7th inning. Asdrubal Cabrera, May the 12th, 2008. Would you believe he turned an unassisted triple play? Only the 14th in Major League history, including postseason. Tonight, 0 for 2 and hit by a pitch, scored a run. And promptly bangs it into right center for a base hit. Thompson, a sliding block. On his way is Asdrubal, and he's in there easily as Thompson can't pick the ball up. So we'll see if it's 1-1 or a double. But we do know that Cabrera is in there. Nice block, but that's what killed the play. And still hadn't picked it up. So now Dave Roberts said that's enough. Runner at second base, right. Cespedes coming up. I better go to the pen and bring in Lewis Coleman. So Liberatore goes out. Coleman is coming in. It was 1-1. Base hit and error on the play. We'll be right back.
Get your attention, please.
Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers, or visit SoCalBMW.com. And by Children's Hospital Los Angeles. We treat kids better. We mentioned that Asdrubal Cabrera had an unassisted triple play. It was against the Blue Jays. They had Kevin Mensch at second, Marco Scutaro at first, Lyle Overbay at the plate. Both runners were going on hit and run. Overbay hit a sinking line drive up the middle. Cabrera dove for it and caught. Then he tagged second to retire Mensch, and here comes Scutaro right to him for the third out. And they're going to change that ball he hit into right center, the block, the body block, etc. by Thompson. It's going to go as a double, not 1-1. So Cabrera at second, and Joe Blanton now facing David Wright and Cespedes to follow. Ball one. 4 runs, 7 hits, and no errors for the Mets. 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for the Dodgers. Steven Matz made 98 pitches, and it looks like he will have called it a night. Wearing the windbreaker and the cap. That's deGrom. Interesting thing about deGrom, you see his long hair. He wanted to cut it until somebody said to him, you know, I just heard a hitter complaining that your hair is a distraction as you're delivering the ball. And he said, oh, really? And so he is not going to go near a barber if it's going to help him get people out. Jacob deGrom. All right, 2-0 the count to David Wright. 2-1. Wright came in here with a lifetime batting average against the Dodgers of .365, backed up by Cespedes. Out at second, Cabrera. 2-2. Wright 0 for 2 tonight with a walk. 3-2. Dodgers have used Kazmir, Libator, and now Blanton. High foul ball. Gonzalez. So Wright fails to move a man over. And now Cespedes coming up.
The fielder number 52, Yoenis Cespedes.
Yoenis Cespedes, the man with all the cars. He was nailed off second base on a fly ball to shallow left field. With the bat, he has walked, singled, struck out. One away, runner at second, 4-2 Mets, 7th inning. Ball one. In Spanish, they called him La Potencia, meaning the power. Two and 0. That's a strike. When Cespedes arrived from Cuba, he was introduced to the mainstream media in a rather bizarre 20-minute video. Showed off his physical prowess, set to an eclectic soundtrack. And one of the final scenes showed Cespedes standing next to a roasted whole pig. 3-1. That's a little different. When he was a kid, he was about 11 years old, and he was picked by the Superior School for Athletes, a government program for about 800 kids who were very good in various sports. That meant that he could return home for only 3 out of 20 days, and he was there for about 6 years. They studied in the morning and then they practiced all afternoon. That wasn't baseball for fun. Not in Cuba. Of course, his mom understood. She was a star on the Cuban national softball team. 3-2. That's hit, smothered by Culberson. Gets up and throws him out. Big play by Charlie. So that's another run that got away from the Mets. Runner did get over to third, but a wonderful play by Charlie Culberson.
First baseman number 21, Lucas Duda.
So Lucas Duda coming up against the right-hander Blanton. So it's a maddening night for the Mets, even though they're winning. They could have had a bucket full of runs. Instead, they lead 4-2. Charlie makes a huge play. And here's Duda, and they're going to take the bat out of his hands. And in a moment, Lagares will be coming up. Robbed of a hit on a diving catch by Puig. Cespedes picked off at second base on a routine fly ball to left, and Lagares fly to left again. All right, Duda takes the pass, and here comes Juan Osvaldo Lagares from the Dominican Republic. 6'1", about 175. Marvelous defensive outfielder, and according to Jose Reyes, a good cook. He used to cook for a lot of the Latin players. Rice, chicken, some plantains, and now things are cooking with runners at first and third, and we'll see what Lagares can do. And a strike, 0-1. Lagares, April this year, no, make it last year, signed a contract extension through 2019. That's a strike. Pretty good money. Contract worth $23 million, and sky's the limit for him. Not really a power hitter, but very much a line drive swing. Check swing, gonna call strike 3. So the Mets lose a golden opportunity thanks to a great play by Charlie Culberson. And the Mets leave 2 more. And at the end of 6.5, New York still leads 4-2. Four to 2 in favor of the Mets. Bottom of the 7th inning, and a lot going on. First of all, the Mets bring in a new pitcher, Hansel Robles. He's a right-hander all the way, and the Dodgers will counter now with Chase Utley, followed by Corey Seager, and then Kike Hernandez or a hitter. So Utley ready to check in, doing an absolutely phenomenal job, hitting .281 in his long career with 35 home runs against the Mets and 103 runs batted in. Utley saving the game yesterday in Toronto with a diving catch of a ball hit up the middle. Chase with that modest 4-game hitting streak, but that's not the important thing. Day in and day out, he's playing exceptionally well. Good pitch by Robles. Hansel Manuel Robles from the Dominican Republic working on Chase. One ball, one strike. 1-2. He throws hard. Robles fastball up to 96. Very good sink, as they call it, when he throws the two-seamer. Then he has a slider and a changeup. Little ground ball wide of first. Nice pick by Duda. Feeds his man Robles coming over. And we have one out. Corey Seager is now coming up.
Number 5, Corey Seager.
Corey Seager checking in, hitting .261. 2 home runs, 14 runs batted in. Robles no real stretch. Some of the big windups that we saw so many years ago, to then the stretch of someone like Kershaw, extremely stretched up with both arms. Then you come down to Robles, just takes the ball and throws it. Kershaw, after another brilliant outing, although those innings that he pitched, he said he wasn't sharp enough to strike out 10. 2-1 the count. Jock Peterson sitting alongside of Kershaw. 2-1. 2-2. You're going to get his 4-seam fastball, they say, about 70% of the time. Slider about 27%. An occasional changeup, not many. Just off the plate. Boy, that's a tough pitch to take with 2 strikes. Robles is 5'11", 185, and he'll be 26 the middle of August. 3-2. Got him. So he got Utley on a ground ball. He strikes out Seager. And the batter now will be Kike Hernandez.
The field of 14, Kike Hernandez.
Kike hit one back off the leg or foot of Steve Matz, caromed over to David Wright, who threw him out on a marvelous play. Kike struck out in the 3rd, flied to right in the 5th, but he also nailed 2 Mets runners. The ball hit by Granderson in the 3rd inning for a base hit, tried for 2. Kike got him. Later on, with Cespedes at second base, fly ball off Lagares' bat. Kike caught it, doubled up Cespedes at second base, pops it up into shallow center. Let's see, Flores goes out and gives way to Lagares, and the Dodgers go 1-2-3. So the Dodgers' last hit was a base hit by Culberson in the 4th inning, and at the end of 7, 4-2 New York. of the Mets, top of the 8th inning. Dodgers make a couple of changes. Corey Seager, who struck out, stays in the game at shortstop. Chase Utley, who grounded out, stays in the game at second base. Howie Kendrick moves from second base to left field, and the new Dodger pitcher is Lewis Coleman. Side armor getting ready to pitch to Flores, then Plawecki, and then the pitcher's spot, which would be Robles. There is someone throwing in the Mets bullpen, so we'll wait and see how this unravels. That's ball one. Flores flied to center, single to right and stole second, walked and scored on the double by Matz in the 6th inning. That's a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Antonio Bastardo, a left-hander, warming up now in the Mets pen. That's a strike. Coleman in his 12th game as Bastardo throws strikes in the pen. 2-2. Coleman ERA of 3. 12 games, 11 2/3 innings. Two balls, 2 strikes. So Flores goes down swinging, 1 away, and Kevin Plawecki, the catcher, coming up.
Catcher number 26, Kevin Plawecki.
Plawecki homered, popped up, and then the biggest single play of the night, the error by Howie Kendrick. Alejandro Diaza, left-hand batter, out on deck as a pinch hitter. If you weren't with us, a routine ground ball with a runner at first and 2 out. Howie calmly fielded it and then dropped it while in the act of throwing. Couldn't pick it up. That allowed Plawecki to stay aboard, and Steven Matz, the pitcher for the Mets, who had struck out twice, doubled to left. Wouldn't you know? 1-1. 2-1 the count. We've always used that expression, formerly used by the great Roy Campanella, but Coleman would give you, if you're a right-hand batter, the jelly leg. It's hard to stay in there against him. J.P. Howell is up in the Dodger bullpen. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Boy, did that thing sail. 3-2 the count. And got him on the inside corner with a great off-speed pitch. Boy, was that ever a big league pitch. He had them all set up and then just broke it in there. So with 2 down, Alejandro Diaza coming up. He's a left-hand hitter from the Dominican. Dave Roberts has J.P. Howell in the pen if he wants to make a move, and he does. So Coleman did his job, came in and struck out the 2 hitters he faced. We'll be right back.
As your attention, please. Now pitching for the Dodgers, number 56.
be the first to admit it. If you look at his earned run average, over 9, and trying to get Alejandro Alberto Diaza. Tell you something about Diaza, he's pretty remarkable. 2 years ago, 2012, he played in 128 games for the Chicago White Sox and hit into his first double play on his 571st plate appearance. And ball 1. Only 2 players have ever had more plate appearances without ever grounding into a double play. Houston's Craig Biggio went 744 plate appearances without hitting into a double play. That's a strike. Dick McAuliffe had 658 plate appearances in 1968 without hitting one. That makes him pretty remarkable. Alejandro Alberto Diaza. Check, they look, no swing. Diaza, 32 years old, left-handed all the way, outfielder. Two and two. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 4-2 Mets, top of the 8th. Howell, the 5th Dodger pitcher. 3-2. Diaza spent a while in the minor leagues, and when he finally came up, strictly the White Sox for about 7 years, then the Orioles, Red Sox, Giants, and then Mets. And a little looper that goes on through into center field. So Diaza comes up with a 2-out single, and that'll bring up Curtis Granderson.
Right fielder number 3, Curtis Granderson.
So that number 9 spot for the New York Mets has 2 hits. The huge double by Steve Matz, and then the single by Diaza. And here's Granderson, who hit the first pitch of the night for a home run. Single, thrown out trying to stretch in the 3rd. Ball 1. Struck out, grounded out since. Asdrubal Cabrera on deck. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom of the 8th, Kendrick, Gonzalez, and Turner. And if anybody gets on, Yasiel Puig. One ball and no strikes. By the way, Diaza over there at first base, way back in 2001, he was signed by the Dodgers out of the Dominican. And then the Marlins got him in a Rule 5 draft a couple of years later. One ball, no strikes. Good pitch, 1-1. Granderson not hitting a lick, came in batting only .207 and hit his 6th home run of the year on the first pitch from Scott Kazmir. Right side loaded up. There goes the runner. Gonzalez down for the tag, and it's Justin Turner to pin him. So Diaza is picked off 3-5 with the right side loaded up. Justin Turner made the tag, and that's it. So we're heading for the bottom of the 8th inning. There's Turner just waiting for him to come there. And it's still 4-2 New York. It's 4-2 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and they bring in Antonio Bastardo, who originally signed with the Phillies and spent quite a bit of time, about 6 years with Philadelphia and in their organization. Last year he went to the Pirates, and then the Mets picked him up this year. Chase Utley, of course, a teammate with Bastardo. Yasiel Puig has been shut down tonight. And here in the 8th inning, Kendrick, Gonzalez, and Turner against left-hander Antonio Bastardo. Basically, fastball, slider, and a changeup. In the dirt, 1 ball and no strikes. Last year, Howie Kendrick could read a book and find out that Bastardo throws that four-seamer about 65% of the time. Then the slider in the 30s and a changeup about 3%. 2-0 the count. Howie Kendrick singled to right, struck out, grounded to short. Had that huge error on the simplest of plays, which is the most maddening thing to happen to you playing this game. Bastardo, take a look at his numbers. No record. He's been in 12 games. He has walked 7 and struck out 20. Reno. Fastball in there. 3-1. Bastardo, they say, is a fly ball pitcher. Very effective against left-handers. So that means Gonzalez will be tested on deck. 3-1. Big chopper to the right side. Flores makes the play to Duda. So Kendrick rolls out. 1 out in the 8th, and Gonzalez coming up.
First baseman, number 23, Adrian Gonzalez.
The paid attendance tonight, game 1 of the 4-game series, 42,186. 42,186. Chris Hatcher was throwing briefly, but he is not throwing anymore. There's Adrian. 2 ground balls and a walk. That's a strike. Bastardo, a career record 24-19. Big curveball, but it missed. He's 5'11", 195 from Hato Mayor in the Dominican Republic. There's the curveball. Fly ball to left center, and shallow, digging and unable to make the catch is Lagares. Now that's a Gold Glove outfielder. Take another look. Seager just gives up. He figures the center fielder has it. And I don't mean to say Seager. I meant Cabrera. Tried to backhand the ball, and it hit his fingertips. It will be an error, of course, on a fly ball. So the Dodgers get a big break. Instead of 2 out, nobody on. 1 out, 1 on, and Justin Turner. On deck, Yasiel Puig. Fastball off the plate. Kenley Jansen gets up now in the Dodger bullpen. They've used Kazmir, Liberatore, Blanton, Coleman, and Howell. One ball and no strikes. And that's fouled away. 1-1. Lagares looking over and making gestures to Curtis Granderson. Kind of pounded his glove as if to say, isn't this maddening? I should have caught it. 1-1. And a high foul. That'll go out of play. No chance for Plawecki. Turner grounded to short. Single to right, so he was aboard when Trace Thompson hit his home run to right field in the 4th inning to account for the Dodger 2 runs. Last time up, grounded to third. So Bastardo should have had 2 out, nobody on. Instead, 1 out, 1 on. In the dirt. Maybe not. Nice play by Plawecki. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lagares just a little off straight away. Two and two to Turner. Almost threw that thing away. 3-2. So Bastardo with 7 walks, 20 strikeouts. The error put him in a hole. Turner tried to keep it going with Puig waiting on deck. Jim Henderson, a right-hander, is warming up now in the Mets bullpen. 3-2. We'll watch Gonzalez. He's not going, and it's fouled away. Three and two. Fouled away. So Turner making Bastardo work hard. Gonzalez on the error, hanging out at first with 1 out. Dodgers' last hit was a single by Culberson back in the 4th inning. Dodgers have 2 runs, 6 hits. The Mets have 4 runs, 8 hits, including 2 home runs. Another big pitch. And hit foul. That was foul as soon as it left the plate, but boy, he really hammered that thing. But a long, loud foul. Still 3-2. Plawecki goes out to Bastardo and says, let's have a little conversation here after that. If you're thinking about home runs, and you might very well be, Bastardo has allowed 1. He's making a lot of 3-2 pitches. And ball 4. So instead of 2 out and a man on, 1 out and 2 on, and Terry's going out, I doubt he's going to allow Bastardo to pitch to a right-hand batter. So he tried, and instead he walked Turner. So Jim Henderson has been throwing in the pen. And Henderson getting ready. So while he walks in, we'll use the time, and we'll be right back. Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 devices. Includes a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply, so visit MLB.tv for details. Jim Henderson, Big Jim, he's 6'5", weighs in about 190. 34 years old come October. A hard-working fella who hung in, spent a long time in the minor leagues, and here he is. In his 16th game with a great ERA of 1.6, and Yasiel Puig checking in against him. Puig grounded to short, flied to right, and struck out. Jim Henderson has inherited the tying runs aboard. Gonzalez at second, Turner at first, 1 out. Jim spent 10 years in the minor leagues and was finally called up in July of 2012. He's a Canadian, and he was on the gold medal Canadian national team in the Pan American Games. Throws hard, and he's in the dirt with the first pitch. 1 ball and no strikes. When Henderson, after 10 years, was finally being called up from the Nashville Sounds, his manager said, if you have a jersey, you have a chance. Well, he's got the jersey, and here he is. He is basically a fastball pitcher, no doubt about it. And ball 2. And looking at Henderson's numbers, with a good ERA 1.6, he's walked 5 and struck out 18. 2-0 to Yasiel Puig, 4-2 Mets, bottom of the 8th inning, 1 out. Jammed him with that 95-mile-an-hour fastball. 2-1. When Henderson was up in 2014, he gave up 8 home runs, 6 of the 8 produced by left-handed batters. He's had a lot of physical problems, herniated disc, hamstring, a lot of problems. Fastball again. That was down as opposed to the so-called high hard one. 2-2 the count. Ten years in the minors. Wow. Last year, shoulder surgery. Before that, 4 months rehab after the surgery. 2-2. Got him and didn't fool around. All fastballs, and that was that. So the inning should be over, but it is not. Fastball right down the middle, so Puig just blown away. Trace Thompson hit a fly ball home run to right field. It just about made it in the 4th inning with Turner aboard, and it carried well enough to get into the 2nd or 3rd row. A 2-run home run to account for the only Dodger runs, and now here he is against the right-hander with A.J. Ellis on deck. And a strike. Well, we mentioned that Henderson throws fastball 77% of the time. Oh, and 1. Took a little off that. 1-1. Basically fastball and slider. Puig deep in thought after that. Yasmani Grandal standing alongside of him. 1-1 to Trace Thompson. Gonzalez at second, Turner at first, 2 out, 8th inning. And that misses. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Hitting behind Thompson, A.J. Ellis. And after Ellis would be Chase Utley. And a high foul ball. Duda has a little bit of room, makes the play. So Thompson fouls out to the first baseman. No runs, no hits. There was an error and a walk. Dodgers lead 2 at the end of 8. It's still 4-2 New York. Inning, and it'll be Curtis Granderson, then Cabrera and Wright. Cabrera switches, so he'll be hitting right-handed. Meanwhile, Granderson homered in the first, single to left in the third, struck out and grounded out since. Curtis up to a slow start, but he does have a half a dozen home runs and 11 RBIs. Check swing for a strike. I'll tell you one thing that's really hard right now, if you've ever played the game. Yasiel Puig in right field. Hard to concentrate. You know, all he can think about is striking out with 2 on. In fact, the Dodgers took the field and he was still in the dugout, still downcast, and at the very last minute kind of shook his head and ran out to his position. But it hangs very heavy on his heart right now, I'm sure. But that's this game. That's a good pitch for a strike. How about Howie Kendrick? He's standing out there in left field and he's thinking, how in the world could I just mess up a routine ground ball? But Kendrick is standing out there carrying a different cross on his shoulders. And the worst part, I think, is to be an outfielder now and just stand out there. It's you and that bad moment. 2-2. 3-2. Matz, Robles, Bastardo, and Henderson. And the Dodgers, Kazmir, Libator, Blanton, Coleman, Howell. Giants are losing and Granderson is lost. So Curtis strikes out, 1 down in the 9th. He has struck out twice.
Shortstop, number 13,
The shortstop, Asdrubal Cabrera, has flied to left, hit by a pitch, scored a run, grounded out, and doubled. Cabrera off to a great start, hitting .306. By the way, the Blue Jays are leading the Giants 3-1, bottom of the ninth. Dodgers tied with the Giants for first place. Cabrera with David Wright hitting back of him. Wright 0 for 3. One ball and one strike. One ball and two strikes. Howell giving that knuckle curveball a workout. When he throws it, sitting up here looking down, it looks like it's a screwball, but it's not. But he has the knuckle curve, then he has the hard curveball. He also throws a splitter and a cut fastball. Two and two. The Mets had the home run by Granderson in the first inning, the home run by Plawecki in the second inning, and another run in the third inning on a base hit by Cespedes. That gave them 3. The Dodgers scrambled back, a 2-run home run by Thompson, and then the Mets got one more, and that was the big play. Ball 3. With 2 out, Flores walked. Plawecki hit a ground ball. Easy play. Howie would make the play 99.9% of the time. Fielded the ground ball and then dropped it. Just dropped it. Tried to pick it up, couldn't do it. And that allowed Matz to come up, and he doubled in the runs. So Utley handles that, and we have 2 down, top of the 9th inning. Ellis, Utley, and Seager due up in the 9th inning for the Dodgers. Now let's see. Dave Roberts out to talk to the plate umpire. So it looks like a double switch. First of all, they're going to go to the bullpen, and Jock Peterson coming up out of the dugout. Trace Thompson will come out. He'll be replaced by Jock Peterson. And meanwhile, Chris Hatcher is coming in, and we'll be back. Comes in. He will be the 6th Dodger pitcher He's been in 15 games, had problems, but starting to get better. Remember last year, he had problems in the early part of the season, and then he turned around to pitch very, very well. Well, he is asked to pitch very, very well right now against David Wright. Wright has struck out, walked, flied to center, and fouled out. Hatcher has faced David Wright just 3 times. Wright is 1 for 3 with a double. Ball 1. Kazmir, Libator, Blanton, Coleman, Howell, and now Hatcher. Good fastball. Chris saying hello at 97. One and two. David Wright lives in Manhattan from Norfolk, Virginia. Slicing fly ball. Puig moving to his left. So the Mets go 1-2-3 in the 9th. And the Dodgers are due to have Ellis, Utley, and Seager. And we're going to the bottom of the 9th, 4-2 Mets. Bottom of the 9th inning with the Mets holding on, leading the Dodgers 4-2. Jeurys Familia from the Dominican Republic. He's a big fella, 6'4", and checks in about 230. Last year, Mike Kodaya, who has retired, but when Mike was with the Mets, he put the nickname Hombre Sucio, which translates into Mr. Nasty, Mr. Dirty. He's big, strong, throws hard, and he is the closer. You look at the Mets bullpen, they not only have great starting pitching, but their bullpen is the best with that lowest ERA of 2.6. Meanwhile, the Dodgers were going to have Ellis come up, and Yasmani Grandal will come and swing the bat. The Grandal batting for Ellis. AJ 1 for 3 while he was in there. And ball 1. Four runs, 8 hits for the Mets, 2 runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers, each side committing an error. The Blue Jays beat the Giants 3-1. Dodgers began the day tied with San Francisco. That's a strike. For Familia, he's been clocked anywhere from 93 to 100 miles an hour. Four-seamer that he likes to keep it down in the zone and acts a little bit like a cutter. 1-1. 1-2. Familia, fastball and slider. Kind of a servy slider, they say. Culberson and Kendrick talking it all over. Oh, wow. Oh, yes. What a great pitch that was, especially to a guy coming off the bench.
Number 26, Chase.
So Grandal strikes out, one down, and Chase Utley coming up. Utley grounded wide of first to Duda in the 7th inning. He faced Robles. On deck, Corey Seager. One out in the 9th, 4-2 Mets. And a strike, 0-1. Lefties have given him a bad time, so we'll see what Utley can do. 1 ball and 1 strike. Meanwhile, Kendrick, you know what he's thinking about. One and two. Justin Turner, he had a hit and a walk tonight, but nothing else. Carl Crawford restless in the dugout. Familia with an ERA of 2.4. Ground ball, foul ball. Familia is in his 16th game, trying to finish his 15th. 4 walks, 12 strikeouts. And then there is Puig, who struck out with 2 on in the 8th inning. Struck out twice, went 0 for 4. Made 1 contribution, a diving catch for an out on a ball hit by Juan Lagares back in the 2nd inning. Ground foul. Though Utley hanging in as he always does. Culberson had a base hit, and then he had another base hit. The Culberson was 2 for 2. Adrian Gonzalez has drawn blanks, 0 for 3 with a walk. 1 and 2. Jammed him. He just did get halfway around on that. That thing was clocked at 98, I think. Wow. No wonder he jammed him. Ground ball up the middle, but that's exactly where Cabrera was hanging out. So the Dodgers now down to their last out. And Corey Seager coming up.
Number 5, Corey Seager.
Corey Seager came in to bat in the 7th inning and struck out. He's trying to keep it alive, hoping that Jock Peterson might get a little lucky. And that's ball 1. Peterson waiting on deck has 6 home runs and 14 runs batted in. He would represent the tying run. Fastball hit into left center and deep. Going back to the track is Lagares to make the catch at the wall. So Seager makes the last out, a long out. Dodgers draw blanks. The last base hit the Dodgers had was in the 4th inning. So 4 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Mets. For the Dodgers, 2 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. And the Mets pull the game off. 13 pitches made by Familia to seal up the victory, and the Mets continue to give the Dodgers a bad time. By the way, the player of the game, and well, he deserved it, Steven Matz, not only did a good job of keeping the Dodgers quiet, he also came up with the biggest hit of the night, a double over the bag and down the line, drove in 2, and that gave the Mets the difference in the game, 4-2. Well, tomorrow night they'll try it again. Hope you make your plans to be out here with us. Till then, for all of us, to all of you, we wish you a very pleasant good evening, everybody.